Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a king representing the state of Colorado. Gregory Luczak was raised in the San Francisco Bay Area, and he has been a resident of Colorado Springs since 2005. He believes this is the best city in the world and is deeply invested in Colorado Springs' growth and future, including sitting as treasurer of the executive board for the Colorado Springs Conservatory. Licensed as a realtor since 2009, Greg has sold over $30 million in value for each of the previous 3 years, accumulating with the 2019, he closed 115 units personally. In 2020, his company, Luczak Real Estate, closed 184 units and over $62 million in closed value, ranking them as the number 2 most productive team in the entire state. In 2015, he was awarded the Colorado Springs Independent's Best of Realtor in 2015. Greg is extremely passionate about this city, business, and the real estate industry. As the operating principal broker for the Luczak Real Estate, Greg has a drive and passion for helping quality agents building thriving businesses. His resume includes the Luczak Real Estate team, number 2 in Colorado in both 2021 and 2020. Number 3 team in Colorado 2019 and number 6 team in Colorado in 2018. He is also in 2022 purchased Keller Williams Client's Choice and became operating principal to over 200 agents. In 2020, his sales include 84 properties sold for over $30 million in value. In 2019, 115 sold over for $35 million in value. In 2018 sales, 103 properties sold for over $34 million in value. From 2014 to 2020, he was the Coldwell Banker International President's Premier, top 1% nationwide. In 2015, the Colorado Springs Independent Best of Realtor, short sale, foreclosures, and SFR designation. In 2017, he founded the Luczak Real Estate as principal broker. In 2022, purchased Keller Williams Client's Choice and became operating principal to over 200 agents. You can get in touch with Greg at gregoryluczak@gmail.com or 719-271-888. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for
impressive.
Greg.
That was
Greg,
impressive. You
you
honor me with that introduction. Thank you.
No
I'm doing
problem.
well. How about yourself?
How you feeling? Another day, another dollar, another day in paradise.
Love it.
And Greg, so you got into the industry in 2009. What made you want to serve people during I guess what some will call a peak recession?
Yeah, it was interesting. I kind of stumbled upon real estate through my marketing background. So I was working for a real estate company doing marketing in 2007 and 2008. Kind of saw what some of the realtors in the office were doing. I kind of fell in love with marketing the product. And so sort of fell in love with like the houses and selling that. And so, like you said, the recession, I was kind of sitting there with a marketing job that wasn't really advancing. A lot of the ideas I kind of felt like I had were sort of being shot down and not really utilized. And so 2009 came, I kind of just hit the wall where I was like, the hell with it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to get my license. And then the rest was history from there. Transformative moment for sure.
No, of course. Do you remember how you got your first client by chance? And has the identity of your first has the identity of your ideal client changed since your first one?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you start out your first ideal client, man. Anybody with a pulse, right? Like who's got a house to buy or sell? Let's go. My first client I remember was a FSBO I converted, and this is in 2009. I tell this story often. As a FSBO I converted, I'm all excited. I'm ready to get it going. It just had like a unique floor plan. There was 3 bedrooms upstairs, including a master that was like attached to a bathroom, but didn't have its own dedicated bathroom. I couldn't sell the house. I didn't know how to adjust for pricing with like floor plan nuances and stuff like that. So actually I didn't sell the house. It expired on me, the first one. And then from there I picked up a bunch of other expireds and started getting the ball rolling. But 2009, 2010, 2011, that definitely got me good at figuring out what it would take to sell houses in a tight market for sure.
Oh, and what do you think was your turning point where like, your eyes opened up and you're like, yo, this is me. I can conquer this.
There was success early on. So early on, I was like feeling, I was getting wins. I was getting the ball rolling. I was rookie of the year, like at my first company. I did 27 units my first year, and that got attention back then. And so most of them were expired. So I was doing a lot of listings, and I was doing a lot of like forward marketing with my listings as well. So I was kind of getting my face out there. And so that I had some people reaching out like, wow, we noticed what you're doing. So pretty soon I had some positive affirmations that I knew like this is something I could do. Probably like year 4 or 5 is when I kind of had an aha moment that's like, all right, this is what I'm put on the planet to do, and I got to go learn how to do it to the best of my ability from now until like forever kind of thing.
Nice. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. Would your strategy for getting expireds back then work in 2024, you think?
Absolutely. My team's using it to success right now. The key is all in the follow-up. You have to get the mindset off of prospecting and start putting it into follow-up as soon as possible. These are long-term relationships that you're nurturing and building, and especially somebody who's coming off an expired listing. Look, they might have their house on the market for 6 months, making their beds, making their kids' beds, sweeping up after the dog, doing all of that stuff ready for a showing that never happened with a realtor who probably never communicated. So, be relentless, be persistent, constantly be selling yourself, constantly be pitching why they should give you a chance to list the house. Eventually they're going to start saying like, man, this guy's persistent, they're aggressive. That's what I want in a realtor. Let's give it a shot. So yeah, absolutely. The strategy does work. Go get listings still.
Thank you for the insight. What do you think is the most misunderstood thing about you, your industry, and your work?
About the industry, that it's easy. I think about the industry that it's easy. I can't stress it enough. Building $1 million business is not easy. It's never easy. It's never going to be easy. Money's a competitive game. So make sure you come, bring your A game, get in early, come prepared, come ready to have conversations, come ready to be challenged to get out of your comfort zone. So I think that's the most misunderstood about the industry. Yeah, I don't know.
What do you think is the most misunderstood thing about yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking of that. I don't know. I think people probably think I'm real serious. I'm actually pretty funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I like the background in your office. That's very funny.
Yeah, my assistant was like setting up my office, and I was running around, and she's decorating my office. She's like, "How do you want it to look?" I'm like, "I don't know, like cool, but like Scarface." Like I walked in one day, I'm like, she took that literally. She's the best. She's the best. It looks cool.
No, you're definitely living a lifestyle brand, I would say. What do you think? What do you think is the biggest misconception people have about real estate in today's world? Another misconception.
Honestly, I think the biggest challenge we have is over COVID, we all kind of worked from home. We're not at that place anymore. The market is challenging. We need to be doing belly-to-belly business. We need to be meeting our clients face-to-face. Okay, we need to be meeting our clients face-to-face and walking them through the contract face-to-face. The separation between the cheap offerings that you're going to see and the quality offerings, the gap is going to get wider and wider. And so I just implore all agents who are listening to this. I know many of you are working from your couch or working from home. You got to get up. You got to find a culture. You got to get an office. You got to get somewhere where you can take clients that will further legitimize you, as well as a place that you can learn some of this, the techniques, the verbiages, the skill sets that you need to go prospect business that we're going to need going forward. I really think the next 6 months is going to be the most critical 6 months since I've been in the business, at least. In that, with the NAR stuff, I think there's going to be a bigger gap in what's needed from an agent to communicate their value, communicate their efforts, communicate their skill set. And so agents need to get good at it really quick. And the best way I know to get good at it is to be around other good salesmen and hear what they're saying.
You're totally right, Greg. You're totally right. Yeah, but I guess like the past
it's unbelievable right now. It's unbelievable right now how few people are in real estate offices. When I first got in the business and you come into a real estate office, it would be humming. Even in 2008, 2009, 2010, especially in 2019. But the market's down. We all need to be coming together more. And I'm seeing less and less people in every office I'm going to. This is across all brands. We need to change that for sure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, well, it sounds to me like, yeah, but prior to COVID, it was the regular season. Now, since this NAR thing, it's playoff mode. Like this is this is now or never for most people. Like, we're gonna see how many people drop off after the year. What's the most courageous decision you've made recently, and how did it impact you? What made you want to purchase Keller Williams in 2020?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, that's definitely the most courageous that's the most courageous thing I've done. So I built my business in 2009, 2010. So I did that during a down market. So I knew there'd be opportunity in the market that we were in to grab market share. And I think that's been proven out to be the case. Everybody's down. So if you can be down less, or heaven forbid, you can be up, you can take a lot of market share from your competitors. Again, the gap is widening. So if we can get really good, we can get really good at training agents. We've got a lot of opportunity ahead of us for all of us, big teams, and all of us realtors that want to take market share. So the market had been going well, and my team had started to grow. The Luczak group had started to grow to double-digit agents, but we had some real standouts and some real people that I could see were starting to take that next step. And so with looking ahead of us, I thought people are going to need to come back into the office. I need a place for when people leave my team, they can build their own team and be sort of in our vicinity, use our ancillary services, our vendor services, our brainstorming, our client events, all the things that we try to do well. Those things are all better done. Staging, video, photo, those things are all better done if we can scale it really big. So initially, the thought process was it was a place that my team could kind of grow, have a place to expand, build their own businesses, grow their own teams, stuff like that. Why Keller Williams? I thought Keller Williams, the brand, is really well positioned. Obviously, the brokerage cost, the brokerage model is getting squeezed. Agents do not want to pay for the big box brokerages that are expensive, 10, 20, 30% of your commission. You guys are looking for a cap. I get that. So I think Keller Williams is really well positioned from a price standpoint from what we offer. Individually, this office, like the office I'm in, is unbelievable. It's like 18,000 square feet, one level, 200 parking spots. I've got this like 100-seat stadium seating training room. It's insane, man. It's sick.
Yeah.
So I just need to convince agents to come into the office and collaborate and work, but I've got the space to do it. So that's where we're at, man. We're trying to build something, and we're trying to build something in a challenging market to do so, for sure. But I think we're up to the task. You just got to keep winning and get ahead of things.
Nah, I'm sure you'll manifest, Greg. I'm sure you'll manifest. You're leading from the front, so as long as you're leading from the front, you're gonna build that culture out. It's just all in due time. But
from your mouth to God's ears, brother. From your mouth to God's ears.
You're funny, man. But like, how exactly are you telling your agents, hey, this is an opportunity right now, and not something that they should be like, I guess, like fearful or like of the unknown, you know? Like, this should be an opportunity of being more transparent with the buyers for the agreement. How are you positioning them as an opportunity for your agents?
Yeah, I mean, I think any extra conversation that you have to have is advantage the good agent, right? I think any conversation, any extra dialogue, the agent who's having their conversations on a regular basis and knows how to consolidate that dialogue to be concise and easy to understand. I think whoever can do that is going to win in the next market. The agent who is having that conversation once a week or showing up unprepared and kind of hesitating their way through that conversation, the consumer can tell. The consumer can tell when you speak with authority, and the consumer right now wants you to speak with authority about this. So get in the office, get educated, and educate your people, educate your sphere, because they want to know.
No, 1,000%, 1,000. This is becoming more of a game of intangible skill sets. Like either you got it or you don't. I feel like, and you don't have to.
I don't know. So I think, okay, really quick, because I'm passionate about this. I think we have a lot of agents who kind of think, right? Like, if they come in, and for the most part, it's real estate. It's not for everybody. There's a high failure rate. We all know that. I do think we owe it upon ourselves as leaders, as trainers, as stewards of businesses that aren't just ours, but the people that work for us. I think we owe it to hold them accountable, to inspire them, to educate them, to celebrate when they have successes, to continue to build upon those successes, to lift them up in the face of, like, all of those things that leaders can do, we need to put ourselves to do. So the only thing I'm going to say is, I think when we start saying aloud things like either you got it or you don't, I think that's a little bit of a cop out. I think there's a lot of people that would attest to, like, I built big businesses and I've literally changed my life because someone believed in me, because someone wanted to pour into me, because someone wanted to hold me accountable, educate me, celebrate me. I think you'd be surprised. So I just don't want us to lose sight of that as leaders, even though in real estate, yes, we are in the business. You get 10, 8 or 9 might not make it. That's unfortunately what we got to work with, and still carry that attitude of stewardship.
No, 1,000%, Greg. Yeah, no, you're definitely a shepherd in guiding people and giving them hope. Okay, we got something here. Like, we just have to take you to the finish line. But yeah, what you said is also correct. Like 80% of the people do fall off the year 1, and then 95% fall off the year 5. So like it's a really, it's not very few can ride the roller coaster, but you definitely have thick skin and a strong gut, I would say. And you don't have to answer this, Greg, but how do you handle criticism or negative feedback about your work if it's ever occurred?
I think the first piece starts with being self-aware, but like I really, really firmly believe in the relentless pursuit of perfection, with also the firm understanding that we know that is completely unattainable. Okay. And so I welcome criticism. Like, I'm trying to get better. I've gotten really good at getting to the point where I criticize myself as often as possible because I want to get as good as I can at this. I really feel like this is the sort of skill set and the sort of sales, real estate, leadership with growing a team. It's like, as soon as I think I've got one kind of figured out, I've got a listing process I feel really good about, then it's like it's constantly changing. It's an infinite game. So be really open to criticism from yourself as well as, I think that's key. But then also be very cautious of who you're receiving that criticism from. Don't go chasing making everybody happy. You want to be true to yourself. You want to be true to your character. You want to be true to what you believe in and your business philosophies, and stay on track. That's the move.
No, that truly is, Greg. It truly is. No, you're constantly getting better, and like you're always fine tuning your process, which is really nice. And yeah, back to staying true to yourself. That's really what matters, because like I don't know if you know the law of numbers, but they say 25% of people are gonna love you and like you no matter what you do or say. Another 25% of people, no matter if you're perfect, they're not gonna like you for some reason. But it's the other 50% that you have like a chance to influence and persuade. So that's where the game really comes down to, that other 50%. And what's the story behind your most memorable success or failure, would you say?
I mean, honestly, the thing I'm most proud about is kind of the growth of the team. Honestly, that was a challenge I took on. I really enjoyed selling real estate as a solo. That was like the time of my life, honestly. Loved coming to work every day. Love working for every client. Still do. But deciding to step out and kind of go into a mode of leading people. I don't know if I was somewhat naive, if I didn't know what I was signing up for. I didn't know if I just kind of like closed my eyes and jumped or whatever. But the growth of the team, at the speed, at the rate, but at the quality of the individuals that I get to work with on a daily basis that look to me for guidance, for inspiration, like, it is so beyond humbling. That's the story. That's the story. I just get to work with wonderful people that have become my closest friends, my closest thought partners, and my trusted advisors, and just amazing how, when you really like commit yourself to leadership, to growth in the role, the world that you start to build around you. To me, that's like honestly what I'm most proud of. And the fact that we sell some houses to go along with it, that's awesome. We got to get back to 100 million in sales this year. I think we're going to do it. But let's get it done.
No, I'm sure you'll execute, Craig. You set out that game plan and you just lead from the front, and I'm sure everyone else will follow. And yeah, is there a failure that sticks with you by chance? That really, like, like this really shaped me to like who I am today.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, last year was challenging. I think I tried to take on three things: my own sales, kind of the team sales, as well as the office, and kind of growing that. I think we succeeded at all three of those things in various spurts, but I think I definitely hit a bandwidth. And coming into this year, we like my team was very open about, and I was very open about like um, last year was a tough year. Like last year, I felt like that was the first year in my real estate career that I hadn't um, set goals and just blown past them. To be completely honest, it was so much fun for me. I was doing so well with it that it was just kind of like hit it, hit it, hit it. You'd kind of like name numbers that are like 100 million, 110 million, 90 million, right? Like, and they would just hit. And last year was the first year it didn't. And I felt like kind of in all three phases, I didn't quite fulfill capacity. I sort of felt between that and some changes in my personal world. Like last year was a year that this year was a year like me getting up off the mat and feeling not invincible and finding a way to like challenge myself, get better, and grow and get back after it and show what we're about. So yeah, absolutely. I think I'm shaped like stronger. I think I'm more optimistic. I think I'm um, more laser focused about where we need to be, and my scope is a lot less broad. I think I'm very tight with what we need to do and where we need to get good at. And I think over COVID, I think everybody's sort of expanding businesses and growing ancillary businesses. And I think everybody's vision got very, very, very broad. And so, yeah, yeah, definitely where I'm at today. And the stuff I'm talking to you about, being in the office, getting good at the business, that's all the stuff I'm talking about all day.
Nice, Greg. Either you love what you do, or you love who you work with, and you get to do both. Now you're turning it up a notch, so you can like be that catalyst and really drive it home. So I think it's gonna happen. It's just you're just fine tuning everything from what I'm getting out of this.
And every time you love it, right? You love it. So every time something doesn't go your way, that's part of it, right? You absorb it and you take it as an opportunity to hone your skill set, to sharpen your sword, to tighten up your craft, right? It's a fun time. I'm going to tell you this: it's the most fun I've had selling real estate in years right now, because I tell my team, like, you can't. There's no like half stepping into the office when you know the pitcher on the other side's throwing 100 miles an hour, right? You got to like dig into the box and get ready to go. So that's where we're at. I think everybody from the team is coming in early, coming in motivated, pushing each other, high five and celebrating each other. This is the most fun I've had selling houses in a while, actually.
No, I'm glad you guys are going to be all clicking on full cylinders, and I'm sure the momentum's only going to go your way. And you see this as a long game. Most people only see it like 3-6 months out, but you see it like 3, 5, 10 years out, which I applaud you for.
Absolutely.
Who or what inspires or influences you the most in your work, would you say?
I mean, I would say my people inspire me the most. I mean, my team members, my employees, my business partners, it's so funny. It's like we've got teams, right? And it's you carry this dichotomy of like I work with other CEOs. I work with people who run their own businesses, who run their own lives. My job is like to facilitate them to just do more business and to live more enriched and more full lives. And so, again, that's like responsibility. I want to serve them in a way that allows them to do that. But I also do carry the weight of like, okay, they look at me as a leader here. They look at me as the captain of the ship. Let me make sure I'm showing up for them. So that part, that second part of showing up every day and wanting to be my best for them, that inspires me the most. That still challenges me and pushes me on a regular basis the most.
No, you're not, Greg. You're taking on a huge responsibility, like not just for yourself, but for your whole team. So like the fact that you're willing to take this responsibility, very few would take that. You got a lot on your plate, so like I'm glad you can juggle all of that. Switching gears a little bit.
And the pressure is a privilege. And know that the pressure is a privilege. Okay, switching gears. Thank you.
Nah, I like that.
I love the suit, by the way. I love the color combo.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Nah,
I want a three-piece, man. I should have won a three-piece.
Nah, I like that you see the glass half full. Like you really have you're very optimistic. So it's just like when like most people are pessimistic in today's market, like you're actually very optimistic,
Just
which
strategic.
I like.
I think trying to find the angles that can benefit us. I mean, whatever. Yeah. I mean the storm, right? Like the storm is hard. If you go into a storm, advantage experienced sailor, right? In a storm, but the storm still sucks for everybody. I mean, the storm still is wet and cold, and you got to be on your game and all that stuff. All of it's true.
No, you're preaching. You're totally right. But hey, that's what that's all about. Yeah. Switching gears a little bit. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why? Dead or alive?
Maybe like Abraham Lincoln or something. I mean, I've got a real fascination with like the decisions that people are making now, right? And the decisions we make in the moment, the ability to make those decisions, the willingness to make those decisions, like in the old days, in the old days, right? Like you're in a battlefield, you send your people to war, and you watch what happens with them right in front of you, kind of thing. It's really interesting to me how like viscerally the decisions were like brought back and how quickly you're making them in the moment, right? So Abe Lincoln, Alexander Hamilton, I don't know, something like that, George Washington. I'd really like to know like how you're making decisions in the face of adversity and how what factored into, and that would be that. I mean, that would be of great interest to me for sure, as the student of leadership that I am.
No, 1000%. Think about the men you listed, like they made decisions where their first and last name are still being used today. So
courageous.
Yeah, right. The fact that you would want to listen to people like that, I hope your first and last name live a long time, decades after when it's all said and done for you too. But and so if a new agent comes to you today, like what's your advice to them? Because like usually what we do take place 3 months out from now. So what's your advice to them to like end the year strong and like really take off in 2025?
So new agent today comes in. The first thing I would do is I would say start practicing your expired scripts. It's August still, turning September. Expireds are starting to come off market. Come October, November, definitely come December. Those numbers inflate huge year after year after year after year, regardless of the market. I expect a big number of expireds coming off the market this fall that are going to be looking to list next spring. I do think getting through the next 6 months is going to be hypercritical. I think we've seen a little bit of a jump in buyer interest with interest rates coming down and with some optimism. So we've seen some buyers get off the fence. Any of those old trees you've got, any old leads, any leads you can generate, shake those trees, let them know. They may be able to buy down a rate and get something in the 5s instead of in the 7s as they might be thinking. Try to bust as much of that free as possible. Expireds want to sell now. I would start getting really good at that pitch. I'd start sharpening your listing presentation. And then the other thing I can say is if you were starting a restaurant today, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd be picking out the produce at 5 a.m. You'd be in there at 6 a.m. to start cooking and prepping for the breakfast shift that started at 7. You'd be doing that from 7 to 11. You'd be cleaning up and doing the lunch shift from noon to 4, and you'd be serving dinner, and then you'd be cleaning all up at the end of the night, and you would do that every single day, 6 days a week. You're starting a business. You got to be in the office by 8. You got to be ready. You got to be looking the right part. You cannot be walking around in sweats and joggers and shaking people's hands and telling them that you sell real estate for a living. We gotta get back to what we're doing. And appearance matters, especially in our business. Presentation, communicating your value proposition and what we do. It's more and more important than ever. Have a killer listing presentation. Have a killer, thorough listing presentation. Buyers for the next month. Then we get to expireds come September, October, end of September turning into October, November. We start pounding expireds. New agent, contacts. 100 calls, 200 calls a day. I mean, it's that intense. You got to get good at it really fast. If you do that, you can go make a lot of money.
No, it truly is a contact sport. The more at bats you got, the chances are you hitting a home run. So everything that you're saying, what you're saying, I'm sure an agent will have a couple units at least, and maybe 20 units the following year. What you're doing,
the good agent is gonna get more deals off of less contacts. So also, I think what's being missed in the equation, new agents, you've got to get good. You've got to get good. And so, like the guy who's already a superstar agent who makes 50 calls a day, that's not you. Okay, you need to be at 500 calls a day. You need to be like getting good at a rapid pace. You need to be doing nothing but talking to people about real estate. You're at the store, talk to people about real estate. You're at Starbucks, bring up a conversation about real estate. You need to be talking about it as often as you possibly can.
yeah. And any new agent should say that they become a walking billboard almost, where it's just like marketing, 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 because they have to get the name out there. You're totally right on that.
It just you stop stuttering when you're having the conversation. You stop umming and ahhing. You start becoming more confident when you have the conversation over and over and dozens of times. It just gets sharper.
No, 1,000%.
Absolutely.
1,000%. What's the biggest lesson you learned so far in your career, Greg?
The biggest lesson. Man, among so many. Still learning all the time. I think one of the biggest lessons is be confident in what you see. I think so many of us, I think we assume that whatever we're seeing, somebody else already understands or somebody knows better. And you were blessed with a very certain brain and a very certain skill set and a very certain set of experiences that no one else has. Okay. And so it's your duty to share those experiences. It's your duty to use those experiences to promote like education, safety, love, all those things. And so I think so many of us, we kind of think like, I don't really want to share my voice. I don't really want to share my experience. It's your duty to mankind. I really truly believe that. And so, yeah, I think I've learned sort of to trust my voice, to trust my instincts a little bit more, and I would definitely encourage other people to do so too.
No, you truly have a giver's game mentality, like where you want to pay it forward to the next person. So I applaud you for that. To be honest.
Yeah, I think with our businesses, I think with our individual real estate businesses, we need to look at it the same way. I think I hear too many of us are counting what we're making per hour on a minute basis. Every single contact that you're making with any of these people, if you do your job, there'll be a client 6 months from now, 6 years from now, and you need that business then as well. Like invest, nurture in relationships, like invest in people, follow up with people, get to know them, get to know their goals. If you're looking for just a quick turn, it's tougher in this business. It's tougher in this business.
No, it truly is. Yeah. I'm telling you, you really see this as a long game. Like
Absolutely. It
when
absolutely is.
so many people see it as a short term. So I like that you play it long in that story.
Absolutely.
And then, what do you think is the key to maintaining a work-life balance, and how do you apply it in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the best to speak on work-life balance. I'm pretty work balance. Um, again, some of the people that I'm very, very lucky to work with on an everyday basis are some of my favorite people, some of my best friends. So I'm very, very, very lucky that I get to kind of commingle that. Making quality time where you can, understanding understanding the important things, understanding making time for the people that are important and the things that are important. I'm constantly trying to be more present, trying to be more patient and calm and enjoy what's going on in the moment instead of always looking for the next thing. I think it's funny. I've been sort of on this like mental health kind of journey the last year and sort of trying to separate the things that make us, number one as high producers, but number two as leaders. What's in us that makes it willing for us to take on all of that stuff and always want more and more and bigger, right? And how do you kind of regulate that with that? Like you want to be patient, you want to be present, you want to have more of a balance with life and all of these things. It's always a challenge. We try to get better about it, always. The conclusion I've kind of come to as far as some of the mental health stuff goes is just be ever present of that balance and the pull between who you are kind of at work in your fiercest mode and in your leadership mode and in your expansion mode and in your willingness to take on change and all of those things that as leaders that we carry. Be present of the balance between that and what it takes to be a good father, a good, spouse, a good friend, a good leader, be ever conscious of that, be ever conscious of how you're feeling, take time to yourself. It's a journey, and it's a journey. We're always on it. We're always on it. It's that's the other never ending game, man, is just, we're trying to always give more, be better.
I hear you, Greg. Trust me, you're very passionate. You're very ambitious. I'm sure it's just long nights, short years for you, my friend.
That's a good way to put it, man. And I appreciate your ambition as well. So thanks for reaching out. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course, of course. What's the most challenging aspect of being in your role in today's world, would you say? Is it like, I'm guessing I feel like the theme is just working, like just catering to your people, or what would you say is the biggest challenge?
But I'd say the biggest challenge right now is in my role kind of as like leader. I'm just trying to get agents to get into the office. Honestly, I see a direct reflection. The agents that are in the office, that are getting work done, that are coming in 10 toes down and want to build businesses. Those people that are showing up are building businesses. It's not flying off the handle. It's slowly, it's surely, it's an everyday grind. It's the work, it's the process. But those guys are building businesses. And the guys that are coming in at 10, 10:30, 11 a.m., you're not going to build a business between 10 and 2 p.m. That's not enough. And so to me, I think from home, can you work from home? You can get done what you have to get done. You won't get done any of the other stuff. And so I think the biggest challenge for me right now is agents, get up, get prepared, get a suit on, look good, feel good, be prepared, come in 8 a.m., start sketching out your day, start understanding what you want to accomplish that day, what you want to get after, and be ready. When you're working from home, I know you're not putting on a suit to sit on the couch at 8 a.m. I know you're not. And it's naturally going to transition and erode and get worse and worse. So the hardest thing for me, if I could just preach it over and over again, agents, get around other salesmen. Salesmen need to be around other salesmen. Get in the office, get around your colleagues, get around other salesmen that you respect, that you trust, and start talking real estate, start getting good about it.
Yeah, Greg, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure you'll build that tribe. Like the moment that people see like you are what you like the 5 people, like you're like the medium or like the mean, or like the 5 people you hang out around most. Like the moment that your agents start seeing that is like when they'll really start leveling up together. So I'm sure it will happen for you.
It's so challenging, man. It's so challenging. I'm telling you, across the country, all the people I speak with across the country, really, really find this challenging. Finding it challenging to get people into the office, finding it challenging to get agents engaged in their education and growing their skill set. It's a challenge that we're seeing all the way across the country. We need to get good at training agents fast, for sure. Because I think COVID, and I think the market that we're experiencing allowed less than great realtoring.
Yeah, it was like, I totally get it. Like I said, like that was just regular season. But right now we're in playoff mode. Yep. So like the littlest thing, like the littlest things matter. Like the attention to detail and all that can really makes all the difference.
I love that perspective. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think is your personal goals for these next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, 5 to 10 is a long scope. I think I found out early on that 10 is a little too far. Stuff could change quite a bit. I mean, I thought, I thought the previous 10 years, I thought we definitely started to set up sort of the team and we started to get kind of things rolling. Again, I've got a great group of people that I'm really excited to see blossom and outgrow the team and spread their wings and build their own team. So I'm very excited to see that kind of ripple effect go. I'm very interested and I'm very excited to see how my personal sales business continues to sort of like morph and grow I'm doing a little bit less business than I have before, but I think I'm doing kind of better work than I ever have. Sort of with the team, I feel like I've got many hands available, and so just kind of the process and how we're able to push our value proposition forward. So over the next 5 years, I think we're going to see a lot of change in kind of how homes are presented, in how real estate is taught to their agents, in what kind of the brokerage model sort of looks like. I'm excited to be a part of that in Colorado Springs, at least, and what we can bring forward. And I'm excited to see the people we can help.
Yeah, of course. Like, with so many agents that you have, like after these closed deals, like what's your game plan for creating referrals off closed transactions or while in the process of being in a transaction? Exactly. I'm actually curious now.
Yeah. So the best thing you can do is do awesome on the first transaction. Be thorough, express your value proposition, do things, taking the right steps, meaning have a listing presentation or have a buyer presentation, set the tone for what's going to happen, and then make it happen. The best thing you could do to get referral business is to do that. I think a lot of agents are getting way too simplified or way too automated with their communications, meaning they're putting their clients on long-term drips. They're saying they have a 100 drip policy, and they're spamming their clients with email 3 times a week that's stock, crap content. This is not how I think you build a database. The way I think you build a database is you do great work. You tell somebody what you're doing to do great work. You do great work for them. You put them in your database, and you continually show them that you're doing great work for other people. So your listings that you're picking up, those expireds that you're selling, that other agents couldn't sell, that you were able to come in and get cleaned up, get the value proposition forwarded and marketed and getting them sold, share those wins, continue to share those with your client base and show them that's how you show them you're the market expert. That's how you show them you're the market expert, not by sending them stock email content. So be thorough with how you're pitching your clients. Make sure you're adding anybody you're selling houses to or contacting to, add them to your database. But you need to share with them what you're doing in the business. Share them the wins that you're getting. Share with them every listing you're getting. Invite them to all your open houses. Invite them to your client events. Invite them to what you're doing. Give them a call just to share with them, hey, I did this, and this, and it worked. I'm getting better. If you need anything, I got you. Any of your friends, family need anything, I'm your man. Call me.
It's all right. The drip emails.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, the drip emails might not cut it anymore. Like you really have to have like more showmanship skills with your touch points and like in a creative manner where like people actually see your value proposition.
Look, we're real estate agents I'm a real estate agent that puts on a suit, every day and comes to the office and sells. Like my clients go to my competition to look for houses. I understand this, right? And so we need to get really good at explaining what we're good at and why we're good. The game is not just, does someone know my name anymore? So when they think of realtor, they call me. They need to know why to call you. They need to think you're the best. If my client knows for a fact, if they know for a fact all the things I'm going to do to get them an extra $5,000 on their house or $10,000 on their house, then my competition might. I promise you, they won't call their sister. They won't call their friend. They won't call a robot brokerage. They'll call you. As long as they know for a fact you're the best person to sell their house and get them top dollar.
1,000%. Yeah, you having like a personal brand authority is gonna take you places, Greg.
Yeah, that was like the 1990s, where it's like I just need my magnet on people's fridge. Like that's not where we're at anymore. Your clients have 3 different realtors' magnets on their fridge. They need to look at you as the place of authority.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, competition is fierce these days. What's your favorite book, podcast, or article that's had a significant impact on your life or work, would you say?
Early on, I was like pretty voracious in taking in real estate content. So I took out a lot of from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, 2 other real estate books. I took in a lot of that. Gary Keller's podcast right now is good. Listen to that with J Pop is on that. That's good. I listen to that one pretty regularly. Brene Brown stuff. I got a book, one of Brene Brown's books that was transformative in the way I thought about vulnerability, openness, courage, bravery in a lot of ways. And so, yeah, who we are is who we are. So I think the personal stuff as well as the real estate stuff, I think it all comes together. So those are some of them.
No, I get it, man.
Daring Greatly is the name of the Brene Brown book, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure everyone go pick it up when you can.
It's
and
great.
Yeah, we are a product of our environment, and like our decisions make up our life story. So you're totally right on what we pick and choose. Greg, have you ever been like driving or like watching TV or like on your phone and be like, like maybe if I wasn't this would be my other dream job or dream career? Like what would be like another career move that you wouldn't mind doing in this lifetime if you could?
So I'm like a marketing brain. I'm like a marketing guy. I'm always thinking about like how things can be presented, how things are presented, what the company's going with, all of that, right? Like that's where I'm at. As I'm sure you can hear with like value proposition, all the things I keep saying, like to communicate forward in any way, in any manner possible. So for me, totally like growing up, I thought I was going to be Don Draper from Mad Men. I thought I was going to be like pitching companies on like what kind of commercials they need to run and how their ads need to look and what they need to be pitching. And so something like that, man, I'd be like one of these like ad men on in New York City or something. Like that would be, I could probably do that.
No, that's so funny. Like, yeah, you're going back to the intangible skill sets. Like that's literally like your theme, like intangible skill sets, and just having that look and feel for the client for that user experience. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's one piece of advice you wish you had received earlier in your career that could have changed your whole trajectory or been a catalyst?
Just to have more grace. Just to have more grace with how challenging this process is for new agents, for agents even that aren't new. This is a challenging industry. Having more grace with agents, having more grace with our clients. I think generally everyone is out here doing really the best they can, including our clients, even the ones that are very, very difficult. And they don't understand the process as much as they should. And that's our job as professionals to educate and to get the word out and to teach people how to be great at this business, how to be good clients. And we need to look at that as a position of like, we're serving our clients, we're serving our people, our agents. And so we need to have grace with them. I think sometimes as leaders, we feel the immediate frustration because we're making decisions so fast. And it's interesting. I think of a couple of relationships. I'm just like, man, have patience, have grace. Absolutely. As a leader, have patience and have grace. I wish I would have taken that earlier on, for sure.
Nice. Nah, I'm sure, man. I'm sure that you're like going 0 to 100, but sometimes you have to just cater to what you get. Just work best with what you have sometimes.
And be present and be present. And when someone's it can seem like they're ungrateful, or it can seem like they're complaining, or it can seem like, whatever it is, whether it be a client, whether it be an agent that we work with, any of that stuff. Like sometimes it's just, they just don't know. Right. And so just be graceful, communicate with them, love them.
Yeah, of course. Now preach. And I got 2 more questions for you, Greg, before I let you go. And then, so I'm not gonna lie to you. When I'm really old, like 80 years old, I'm gonna rewatch these. So like, what's one piece of advice you want to leave with me, or something that can make me smile when I'm old?
Kudos to you for getting out, for doing it, for putting yourself out there. Kudos to you for having these experiences. Continue to learn from the people. I mean, you're talking to a wide breadth of really smart people who have built successful platforms, and there's a lot to learn. And I just love that you're soaking it, and that you're constantly taking on that studying the human experience and how to be your best. So kudos to you, man. I just be proud. Just be proud of yourself. You're 80 sitting there. Be proud of yourself, of all that you've learned, of all that you've soaking in. And that's the game. That's the journey. So you won.
Nah, thank you, Greg. That truly means a lot, man. It really does. Like, I take that to heart. And Greg, for you, what legacy do you want to leave behind when it's all said and done?
So funny. I used to have this like real like I want to have a building with my name on it, like the Luczak building. Like I really wanted to like have this concrete thing that like literally generations could walk by and be like, you know, that's like less and less. I mean, that part's gotten less and less. I think the legacy is seeing the relationships. I've been in the business since 2009, and so I'm sitting here 15 years in, and some of the people that have been on my team are starting to have like babies, that bought houses. I've literally got a young man on my team who came to me when he was 19 years old, 20 years old. He's now 24. He'll sell 16 million probably in real estate this year. So his life is literally changing. He's buying his first house. I've got, it's becoming more and more of that. A friend told me, he said, a friend said, man, I've been all around the world. I've eaten the most expensive restaurants. He goes, it's funny. I don't remember the food as much as I remember the people I ate the meals with. And so, I think the further along you go, the more important is the people that you're with and making sure that you're leaving them better, for sure.
Right. Like, when you don't know how fast time goes until you get there. And like the fact that you're changing families' lives with their generational wealth, and you're having like full circle moments now where like you're continuing to hope generational wealth for families, and then you're changing the trajectories of everybody on your team for building a better future for themselves. So I applaud you, man. I truly do. It was an honor and pleasure having you on the show. Do you have any last comments, or how do you like to be contacted? And do you have any last comments or thoughts or questions for me?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it very much. So if you want to give me a call anytime, 719-271-8888 is my number. Our website for the team, www.makespringshome.com. Just keep doing your thing, brother. I appreciate you. Appreciate you letting me come on and talk long form real estate for an hour. It's been probably a year, I think, since I've been on the podcast circuit doing all that. So this was a lot of fun. Keep doing your thing. I know you got some big guests coming up. Keep doing your thing. I know I bless you with nothing but success, and if anything I can do for you, let me know.
Yeah, we'll do. Can you stay on the call for 1 or 2 more minutes, please? When I end this?
Absolutely, brother.
Oh, man, you're such a blessing. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from a king from Colorado, Gregory Luczak, or Greg Luczak. Thank you so much, brother.